welcome you to my YouTube channel, that is Attract English by Aishwarya. So friends, the topic that we are going to cover today is clauses. But before starting the video, I would like to give you some important information. If you are a student and you are enrolled for any course, for example, you come from a management background or maybe a medical line, you are an engineering student, law, finance, anything, and you need help with your assignments. When I say assignments, it could be a research paper, thesis, report, dissertation, essay writing, anything, any kind of assignment assistance or any kind of content creation, you need help, you can go to www.needassignmentreport.com, which is a website that provides A1 quality assignment assistance at reliable prices. So please check it out. And now we are going to start with our today's topic. Clause. It is a group of words that has a subject and a verb. A clause that has a complete meaning is known as an independent clause, whereas a clause that relies on another clause to complete its meaning is known as dependent clause. So clause can basically be understood as a combination of subject and verb present in a sentence, and that sentence may or may not be capable of making a complete sense. So in case that combination of words which has a subject and a verb is capable of making complete meaning, then that is an independent clause. And in case that combination is not capable of completing its meaning alone, or it relies on another set of words to complete its meaning, then it is known as a dependent clause. Clauses can be divided into three main types. First is main clause, second is subordinate clause, and third is coordinate clause. Let's start with the first type of clause, that is main clause. It is a group of words that has a subject and a verb. It is capable of independently completing its meaning, so it's also known as independent clause. It does not need another clause to complete its meaning. So we just discussed the definition of an independent clause, and main clause is exactly the same. Or we can say that main clause is just another name for an independent clause. Let's understand this better with the help of some examples. First, the boy smiled. Here, the boy is the subject, smiled is the verb, and when I say the boy smiled, it is making complete sense. Therefore, it is an independent clause or a main clause. Second, my mother shouted loudly. So my mother, this is the subject. Shouted loudly is an object in which shouted is the verb, and my mother shouted loudly, this again is making complete sense. Therefore, it is also a main clause. Lastly, a dog barked at me. So here, a dog, this is the subject, barked at me, this is the object in which barked is the verb, and this combination of words is again successful in making complete sense, and so it is also a main clause. The next type of clause is subordinate clause. This type of clauses are dependent on another clause to complete their meaning. Even though it has a subject and a verb, a subordinate clause cannot make complete sense alone. It can be defined as a combination of dependent clause and an independent clause. It generally starts with a subordinate conjunction. We have already discussed the concept of dependent and independent clause, and subordinate clause is a combination of both of these. This kind of clauses start with a conjunction. Now what is a conjunction? It is a word that is used to combine or join two different words, phrases, clauses or sentences. And a dependent clause and then the independent one. A dependent clause is always used with an independent clause so that the dependent one gets meaning, or it is capable of completing its meaning with the help of the independent one. Let's understand this better with the help of examples. First, if it rains, comma, please carry the umbrella. Now here, if it rains, this is the dependent clause, and here if is the conjunction, it is the subject, rains is the verb. Now if I say only this part, if it rains, so it sounds incomplete. It is not making complete sense, and therefore this is a dependent clause. Then, comma, please carry the umbrella. Here, this part alone is making sense. Now if I say only this much, I remove if it rains and I read only this part, please carry the umbrella. Still it's making sense, and therefore this is independent clause. And combining these things, combining this set of words, we get a subordinate clause. Second, as long as you are there, I'm sure the children are safe. As long as, this is a conjunction, then you are there. So you is the subject, are there. So you are there, that means your presence, which is indicating the state of being. That means a verb. So as long as you are there, this is a dependent clause. If I say only this much, as long as you are there, it is not making complete sense. Therefore it is dependent. Then comma, I'm sure the children are safe. If I read only this part, it is still making sense, and so it is an independent clause. As long as you are there, I am sure the children are safe. This complete sentence is an example of subordinate clause. Last, since he misbehaved. Now here, since is a conjunction, he is the subject, misbehaved is the verb, and this is dependent clause, comma. I stopped answering his calls. I stopped answering his calls. It is again independent clause, and this complete sentence, since he misbehaved, I stopped answering his calls. This is an example of subordinate clause. Coming to the last type of clauses, coordinate clause. Coordinate clause use a combination of two independent clauses joined with the help of a conjunction. This type of clauses may look similar to subordinate clauses due to the presence of two clauses in one sentence, but the difference is that a coordinate clause consists of two independent clauses, while a subordinate clause combines a dependent clause with an independent clause. So, coordinate clause is also a combination of multiple clauses just like subordinate clause, but there lies an important difference. In case of subordinate clauses, we are combining an independent clause with a dependent one. But in case of coordinate clauses, we are taking two independent clauses and joining them with the help of a conjunction. The second difference can be understood with the help of the position of conjunction. We have already discussed that conjunction is a word that is used to link or join two words, phrases, clauses or sentences. So, in case of subordinate clause, the position of conjunction is in the beginning of sentence. But in case of coordinate clause, the position of conjunction can be in the middle. That means in between the two independent clauses which are being joined using that conjunction. Now let's discuss the examples. First, John wanted to go out to play, but it started raining. Here, John wanted to go out to play. This part is first independent clause. If you see, if I read only this part of the sentence, John wanted to go out to play, it is still making complete sense and therefore it is an independent clause. Then, but is a conjunction, and it started raining. This is the second independent clause. So if I read it alone, that means it started raining. Still it's making sense, and so it is called independent clause. Now if we see the whole sentence, John wanted to go out to play, but it started raining. So here we can see there are two independent clauses which are joined using a coordinate conjunction, and therefore it is a coordinate clause. Second, you can plan a weekend trip or you can have rest. Here, first independent clause, you can plan a weekend trip. Then, second independent clause, you can have rest, joined using or conjunction. Last, they have pending assignments, yet they keep putting it off. So here again you can see they have pending assignments, that's the first independent clause. They keep putting it off, this is the second independent clause, and yet is the conjunction here. With this we have reached to the end of the video. Do not forget to follow us on Instagram since we keep posting educational content there. Then please check out the website that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Do not forget to subscribe this channel and please like and share the video. Thank you so much for watching.